This is the Icom A16 Bluetooth version. A customer ordered this yesterday and he was nice enough to allow me to do some testing with some Bluetooth headsets and devices. So he wants to help other pilots to make a decision if the Bluetooth version is a good option, is worth to invest extra $50 into a radio, or use the radio the way it is, or maybe an external speaker microphone like this guy. This is a picture of the I just took a picture of the internet. We didn't order this model, but this is the speaker microphone for this specific radio. And I'm not going to bore you with unboxing videos and stuff. Those are for kids who love to see virgin stuff, new toys, gadgets. But if you are a pilot, you are above the crowd. I can tell you that because I deal with pilots very often, maybe once a week. And the pilots are a bit of special creatures. And I'm going to dig into the important stuff. So how the radio feels is not important. I like it. It's not huge. It's not huge. I use this one, which is larger. That's my own Yaesu radio. It's larger. I like it, but it's a bit kind of large, kind of large. And I loved it. But once I got this radio, at first I thought it looks like a cheap radio. That was my first impression. Looks like a cheap radio. Of course, I know Icom. I do work for an Icom dealer for many years, but this one looks like the entry-level Icom radios because I love big screen displays. I like this type of stuff. If it's bigger, the better for me. That's me. I'm a gadget guy. So when I see this type of radio with a larger display, I say, "Ooh! Can I get a bigger display?" Of course, someone offered me a radio with a cell phone large display built in, but it was $3,000. So this one, no, it's too bulky. This one's no display. No, I don't like it. Has to show me something. I need to talk to the radio. So big display. Yeah, this is, but it's too big. Is like no. It's heavy. Looks heavy duty kind of, but it's too big display. I mean, not too big to hold in my hand. That's the idea. But this one, if you're a pilot, you don't watch the display. Why you need to watch the display? You just need to do some settings, the basic settings, and change the channel. That's it. And let me get out of this menu. Okay, clear. And what you do, you change the frequency, punch in the frequency. So it has to be very simple. And I mean, if you are not able to see these numbers, that means you cannot fly. So you need to have eye correction, otherwise you don't get medical if you are an aircraft pilot. But if you are a paragliding pilot, yeah, you still need to see some numbers. But if you fly, because if you are a paragliding pilot, you generally fly in the same airspace, same area. And you punch in the frequency, the local frequency, and you don't fly far. I can tell you, unless you're really go with the wind. So you might have to pre-program a couple of channels and just switch the channels up and down. But you don't need a large display. So this feels bright, and it's kind of made for Japanese hands. But yeah, I think I feel I want to keep this one in my hand. It's like a really nice grip, nice feel. And the battery on this thing is, you see, it's large, it's fat. We have a bunch of rental radios and radios for sale. Use the same battery, but the same contacts, the same charger, but it's only 1600 milliamp hour. And doesn't give me the confidence. So that's a regular Icom portable battery, and this one is 2400. So this gives you the whole day. Depends on how often you use it, but yeah, a whole day and even longer. And like I said, I can't. It's a good feel, and you may not like it. Everyone is different. So if you are to take the battery out, right, which you don't have to, you just put the radio, turn off the radio, put the radio in the charger. Don't leave the radio on in the charger. I mean, it doesn't hurt, but some designs don't like the radio on. So I don't know how about this one. You have to read the manual. So put this one in the charger, and you don't have to take the battery out. But in order to remove the battery, you have two locking clips here, and because I have to hold the phone while I record, this is one hand operation, and you pull those two clips down, and the battery comes out nicely. And this is the date code that when you inquire, let's say the battery dies or something, and you think, oh, you know what, my battery was not supposed to let me down, you call Icom or call us and provide this code, and we tell you when the battery was manufactured, and if it's within 1 year, we'll take care of that as a warranty. And you have to look at this seal, the battery contact seal. This prevents the water to get in. So there is no other way to seal the battery environment, the battery, to protect the water, to protect the radio from water getting in from the side. So there is no seal. Some radios have a seal at the battery, but there is no seal in here. So to prevent the water to get into the PC board and the radio and get stuck in there and cause corrosion, there is a seal. You have to maintain it clean. And you see a red seal in here. So there is an internal seal that goes all around, okay, and then it connects to the volume control knob here. It's underneath, a part of the housing, and it goes around the antenna connector. So the antenna connector is a BNC connector, so you can swap the antenna with different brand that uses the same BNC. And there is no seal at the antenna, but there is a seal part of the housing and chassis assembly. So if you drop the antenna, the radio down on the ground, this is flexible, it will bend. But depends, if you pull the antenna hard right here it's a metal piece that connects to the spring, which is the antenna itself. This antenna is kind of a coiled spring, but right here it's a solid piece of metal, okay. And so you should not pull the radio off the antenna. Don't do stuff don't put force here, because it can bend. This connector can break it, or can bend it inside the chassis there and damage the seal inside. So once you get water in the radio, it mostly causes the corrosion, water damage. So if you get that type of stuff, just take the battery out, leave the radio dry, and take it for service, for checkup. But if you just expose it to regular rain and stuff, it's supposed to last you. This is a waterproof rated radio. And if you want to put the antenna, you see, I'm a one-hand operation. So with two hands, of course, you feel when it goes in, then push down. Then, because it's a bayonet type of BNC and system, you have to turn it, but don't turn it on top, because you will feel this one will kind of spin around. So you hold it at the bottom at the connector, squeeze a bit, and you will feel when it locks. It's kind of a pop feel. Okay, so let me put the battery back in. You will see two tabs at the bottom of the battery, two tabs that goes into this slots here at the bottom of the housing. So you put the battery in like that. Okay, so once it's set here, then you have to lock it by softly pressing down. So you don't have to put force into the radios at all. So it's a perfect design, it's a perfect matching between battery, latches and locks and stuff. So it doesn't require force. If you have to put force, something is not right. So this radio turns on by the volume control potentiometer. So this is on and off. So you will feel it goes kind of hard, but it's normal. Why? Because under this knob there is a gasket. So now what happens is this plastic knob is rubbing against that gasket inside. So it makes a tight waterproof connection, like a bond here. So you don't have to worry, but you have to learn how to feel it, because if you think that you use the gloves in the winter time or something, and you have very strong hands, and you think, okay, I don't know, the force or something, you may be able to break it. I don't think I can, so I don't want to break it. It's a brand new radio, but it feels solid, so you know exactly that when the volume control stopped at the full volume. But still, don't panic if you feel the radio, brand new radio, it goes kind of requires some pressure. I mean some force. That's normal because of, like I said, the rubbing the seal inside. You may want to take this knob out. I'm not trying now, but with little bit of force you can pull it out, and you can put some grease maybe once a year or something, or some dust will get in. Anyway, so I won't get into that type of detail. So click, you feel a click, the battery voltage shows here, okay, then it goes to the last frequency that was punched in, and you can punch the frequencies here. One actually it went to the channel mode, but when you want to punch in new frequency, then you have to go to the frequency mode, and that you have to read the manual. I'm not teaching you how to use the radio now, but I'm trying to show you how you connect to a Bluetooth headset. And for that type of test, I just grabbed one from our stock, from our inventory, Parrot VXI. I've used different ones. Of course, you won't fly with Bose or something. I don't think you will fly with one of these things, but you can fit one of these in your helmet if you really want. If you're a paragliding pilot and you want to fit this one in a helmet, so you put the device in a pairing mode and also the radio in a pairing mode. And to enter the menu, you need to use function button and set. And you see all these orange color buttons, they are associated with a function button. So you have to enable function button by pressing function once, and within 2 seconds you have to press the function key you want to use. Let's say if I want to use WX, like a weather channel, I'm pressing function, and quickly I'm pressing the WX. I want to change channel, up and down. These are navigation key, up and down, scrolling. Yeah, so the radio is pretty sensitive. If I receive the second channel, which is generally a weak signal, yeah, that's pretty sensitive. So,
Prévision à long terme pour vendredi, alternance de soleil et de nuages.
I would say this is a loud radio.
Avec 60% de probabilité d'averse. Minimum 12 pour...
Okay, press and clear get me to the 118. 000. Okay, it took the frequency, and I don't have to press enter. Already took that frequency. So you are in a frequency mode now, and I want to get to the Bluetooth function. So I enter the menu by pressing function. You will see the F on the screen, and hold the set for 1 second. So function, and within 2 seconds I'm pressing the enter, or actually it's set, because set is orange and associated with the orange button, function button. So I hold that one for at least 1 second, and I'm getting into the menu, and I want to scroll through the main functions here. So I press memory read, CPU version, Bluetooth version, light, auto, microphone high. So different settings and functions, you find the explanation and details and how to use it in the manual that comes with the radio. And so now Vox is on. Why I used Vox? Because I'm trying to get a push-to-talk Bluetooth button. I could not find one that pairs this radio, so you have to, if you really want to have a Bluetooth wireless button, you would have to buy the Icom model that is made for this radio, and you find it on their website. You can order through us, and it has a charging cable, USB regular charging cable, and sort of a small earpieces, and you can use just one earpiece, and this one you can attach it somewhere on your belt, somewhere easier to access. You can wire it through your sleeve in your jacket, and you rub this one with something, and this is a push to talk button that activates this radio. So I try to use different brands, and I spent some time to try to pair, but it will not accept this type as a push to talk, but it does accept other type of headsets without external wireless push to talk. So wireless push to talk, there are a couple of brands on the market, but they work with their own dongles. So this is, let's say, Prime. It works with Prime dongles, which we have a bunch. So my boss gave me a big box full of dongles, or adapters I would call. So this is an Icom adapter for that type of brand, and I can pair this adapter with a wireless push to talk. So I assume that I'll be able to buy one made for this particular radio. The customer ordered it, the Bluetooth version already, and then I realized that these manufacturers don't make their dongles, adapters for this particular radio. So this works for other Icoms, commercial radios and ham amateur radios, but not for avionics radios, not for airband radio. So this is the push to talk you put around the finger, but is useless for this radio. But I found a fix. So if you have a regular, let's say, this type of stuff, which you don't want to use for flying, but this type of stuff, most of the Bluetooth headsets that have the phone function, right? They have a microphone. Like this one has a boom mic, which is useful to you if you use a helmet. Now, Vox on will activate this microphone. Without the Vox on, what happens? You have to press the push to talk while you have the headset connected to the radio. So in order to talk, you would have to push the push to talk. But if you activate the Vox function and you set the Vox level, you have to read the manual how to set the Vox level sensitivity. then you have a very good system. So now let me get out of this menu. So you see Vox level 3. So I just get out of it and I press clear. I'm on that frequency 118, and let me show you something. So let me do the squelch so you can hear some sound. The radio gets loud. Actually, it hurts my ears. Maybe I'm too sensitive, but now one of my ears started whistling or something. The radio is really loud. And now I'm taking this one which I previously paired, so I don't want to waste your time because we already spent 20 minutes on the recording, and I press this one, turn it on, and now the sound was switched to this one, to the headset automatically. Because I set this radio, I set it to automatically turn the speaker off while the Bluetooth headset is on. So, but you see, I was monitoring on my other radio for demo purpose. So the function, the Vox function is on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a really clear sound. Let me turn that radio off or quieter. It's really clear sound for an airband radio. I'm impressed. Usually airband doesn't sound that clear. And also this is every time, because the Vox is high, it's sensitive. So when I touch the microphone, it's going to cause this radio to broadcast. Another thing, if you don't have the Vox function on, if it's turned off, you can press this button, or you press this button like an answer button on the Bluetooth headset. So let's see if I press that one. You see, TX shows on the screen, and now it's on, and it's on all the times. It's like a switch on and switch off. But you're not supposed to hold the airwave, so you should never use this button that way, especially when you fly with gloves. But I'm showing you there is a kind of a function you may be able to use, maybe, but again, you should never test this this type of radios in airband frequencies just for test purpose, unless you talk to a pilot for a quick radio check, and that's it. So this frequency, right now I'm broadcasting here, but I check the frequency area and I'm doing a quick short test, and I'm surrounded here. The shop is surrounded by lots of buildings, and I may get like a couple of 100 meters radius. Very quick tests here. I should not do that, but yeah, this is just a quick demo purpose, and this frequency is not being used in our area. So that's kind of it about the. Let me turn it off, because you see the Bluetooth is keeps activating the radio. So I'm going to turn this one off, so I stop broadcasting. I tried different kind of quick fixes. I took apart a regular Icom microphone for a commercial radio, and I thought to modify it and make an external push-to-talk. But what I noticed here, the connector, you see the audio jack, this is used for, on a regular Icom radio, is used for speaker side. So this jack is just for speaker side, and it goes to the speaker wires here. and this is for the microphone one. So you get push to talk, one pin, and microphone, audio, and ground on this one. But when I spoke to Icom Canada, I dealt with one of my former co-workers who used to work here in our company for about 14 years, and now he's with Icom Canada. And I spoke to him and I said, can I use this mic? And he said, no, most likely not, because the pins are different. And I thought, ooh, I never dealt with this particular radio model and try different microphone. But since he works with the dealership, he deals with all sorts of radios and newer models, so he has the choice and chance to test. And I thought, okay, let me see, maybe, but he didn't tell me exactly what's the difference. He said just the pins are different, and I thought, okay, let me try to modify something. But when I look at the picture of the actual microphone that matches that radio or is made for this radio, I see the original speaker jack has one more pin, and I thought, oh, so it's pointless to try to modify a regular Icom speaker mic, which is this type, to make it work with this particular radio. So it's just waste of time, because it doesn't have that pin on this jack. So anyway, so that was the experiment I've done today. It works with Bluetooth that has a boom mic, and you just have to use the Vox function, and it works very, very, very well. So you may have to adjust up and down according to your needs. I would set the Vox less sensitive, so you get some wind in your face or on the boom microphone. And if you have a helmet with one of those type of motorcycle that protects your face, it has some sort of a cage in front of your mouth. It's kind of a mouth guard. Yeah, you can hide the boom microphone in there. You can even modify one of this type of stuff. If you have a another type of Bluetooth headset that doesn't have a boom mic, you may have to adjust the microphone Vox sensitivity higher, so we'll pick up that microphone signal from the boom. So you have to play with that, see how it goes. You don't want to transmit all the time when you get wind in your face. That will activate the Vox. Then you lock the airwaves with. But one good thing about it is that you get a sight on. It's a kind of an audio when you hear yourself, and now you are aware that you are broadcasting. That's a very important function on this type of radios, like avionics avionics headsets. The pilot is able to hear his voice and the voice of other people in the cockpit, so he knows when people are talking, and he will have to tell the people in the aircraft to keep quiet, because he wants to talk to the tower or to the traffic. So same thing with this one. You will hear your own voice in here, in your earpiece, while you transmit. So now you know, if your radio activates the Vox function because the wind or the Vox sensitivity, you will hear that one on your earpiece. And that's important to know, because now you have to adjust the Vox level, or do something, shut off the radio or do something. Yeah, of course you won't, while you fly you can't really adjust the stuff here, because you have to pay attention to flying. But at least you know this is not a good setting for me. I turn the radio off, or maybe turn the Bluetooth function off. So you turn the Bluetooth earpiece off, and you use the radio the way it is without the Bluetooth until you set it right, and next flight you will you will try again if you deal with wind. So that was my 30-minute video. If you had the patience, that means you will have the patience to read the manual, because generally I don't read the manuals. When I get the manuals, it's too windy here in the office, and the wind is blowing the pages all over the place. So I can't really read. And yeah, so I hope in your home, when you get the radio, it won't be any wind. You will be able to focus on the letters. Also, my the letters kind of fly around, and I can't read. So I rarely read a manual. If I have to read a manual, that means my technical mind does not match the engineering technical mind, and I don't want to use the product. But if you're not a technical person, you should read the manual. So in my work, my mind is kind of used to engineering type of thinking, and again, I have not only radio skill, but I'm connected to the engineering fields, and I understand how the engineers think. But if you are a doctor, or if you are a nurse or something into a totally different field, then you have to read the manual, unless you have that experience dealing with all sorts of electronics and gadgets. So talk to you soon. Bye bye. Enjoy the new radio. Bye bye.